Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So a few days ago, I posted a video about the Louis Vuitton price increases, and a number of you asked me in my comment on that video whether I think Louis Vuitton items are still worth it and whether I would still personally be buying them. And I figured I'll do a quick short video to talk about that. I figured, since I didn't cover a lot of this in my actual video, which I'll link it down below, so do take a look. But I will talk about that in this video. So the question is, do I still think Louis Vuitton items are still worth the money and whether I will still buy them? The short answer to that is yes, I will continue to purchase from Louis Vuitton, and yes, I do think they're still worth it. And I will explain my answer from a few different perspectives, I guess. So I guess the main reason or the one important factor when it comes to luxury purchasing for me is about the resale value. So, I'm not uber rich or, I'm pretty comfortable financially, but at the same time, I can have only limited budget to be spending on luxury goods. And for me, it is important to know that, one of the reasons that you invest in luxury goods is to know the fact that you're potentially able to get a good amount of the value that you've invested in back. In some cases, rare cases, but in some cases, you might even be able to make a profit out of the items that you purchase. So that is something I think about when I make my purchases. It's not the, it shouldn't be the factor that really make you buy, because you should be buying something you love and something you actually make use of. But regardless, sometimes when you're making these purchases, resale value is a big factor to consider. And I would have to say I've been in this kind of luxury bag collecting, purchasing, selling stuff for about a year or 2 years now. And Louis Vuitton is definitely the brand that resells the fastest and the easiest. And the reason for that is because they have such a broad range of price point, which makes it easy for people to be willing to pay for that amount. So you have your the card holder key pouches, that go from $200, $300, and then you have bags that's all the way up to $10,000. So the range is really broad, and I feel like the demographics or the people who are willing, the clientele who are willing to purchase Louis Vuitton is also really broad. You could just be, you don't have to be super rich to be able to own a Louis Vuitton item. And I think that's the part that makes it so brilliant, because when I'm trying to resell, you could really target anyone. It's not intended for any specific group. So I do think reselling Louis Vuitton is a lot easier compared to like Chanel or Hermes. If you guys follow my channel, I also purchased quite a bit vintage items, and I was able to resell some of those pieces really, really fast, really easy. So from that perspective, I do think they're still worth the value. When I say I will continue to purchase Louis Vuitton item, I don't always mean the new fresh from boutique. It's possible that I'll definitely be still buying vintage. For items that I would purchase from the store, it will likely be things that's hard to get, that's very classic. I know it's still very thought after. So if I love them, I'll go for them. And knowing that if at some point I need to resell and get my money back, I would be able to do that. So one of the example is the one that I'm unboxing in my previous video, the mini pochette. So these ones, they went up in price like crazy. And if you ask me if this little piece is worth $500, $515 Canadian dollar plus tax, no, it's not a leather item, right? Like, it's not leather. It's a super simple design with a zipper on it. Honestly, just a pocket with a zipper. How would something like this worth $600? Like, it doesn't. But at the same time, it is a super functional piece. It's in the canvas material, which means it will be long lasting. And it's super cute. It's super functional. A lot of people are after it. So if I, by purchasing something like this, and one day if you do need the money for something else, you can still resell the item for a pretty good amount and then use that money for something else, which you would not be able to do when you invest in another bag or anything, right? If you invest in like a contemporary brand, like Coach or, you know, Michael Kors or something like that, you wouldn't be able to get that money back. So that's kind of the reason why, one of the main reason why I think I would still invest in Louis Vuitton items. So I have been purchasing Louis Vuitton for some time now. My very first one is the Speedy, which my dad gave me as a gift when I was 18, when I turned 18. I have to say, I did another video also comparing the quality of Louis Vuitton items for kind of more older pieces versus newer pieces, and I have to say their older bags are definitely made a lot better. I'm not trying to, so you know, if you want to look in the vintage market and able to find a piece that's really you know, in good condition, I think it's a really, really good buy. This one, like I said, I purchased many years ago. My dad purchased many years ago. And I think at the time it was only 600 Canadian dollar, which was really cheap. And now this one is over $1,000. What is it? I haven't checked the latest price, but it definitely doubled its market value. Now, if I were to resell this one, I can probably still get $500 to $700 for the Speedy 30. So if you think about it, yes, it's obviously worth investment because I've used it for many years and I can still get the money back, if not a little bit more on it. I don't baby this bag. If you keep your bag in really nice condition, you can probably still even make a profit on top of it. So this is only true for the classic lines, right? So this is true for your mini pochettes, for your maybe a card holder. But again, card holder and clay, it will really depend on the condition of the item. These are everyday use items. So if they're really beat up, really like in poor condition, you won't be able to get a lot on it. But these days are so hot, you can probably still resell for a good $150, even if they're pretty used. But like I said, if you invest the money in Speedy, in Noe, sometimes if you're very smart and know there's a, you know, very unique collection that you want to invest in, like the Game On one, I think that could be a very good investment, which you know collector will go after down the road. Those are probably very good investments. But again, for those rare pieces, it will be harder to resell. You might be able to resell for a really good amount, but you need to be more patient. Whereas if you want to resell something like a Speedy or a Noe, it will be like resell really quickly. So like I said, this one has been with me for years. I probably would never resell just for sentimental reasons. And then I also purchased this one from the Pre-Loved. It's a vintage Noe. Now this bag, I think it's $2,000 now, or over $2,000 on the official website. I will link the actual picture in. But I got it for $450. So I think I can probably resell this one easily for about $700 or if not more, because it's in fantastic, beautiful condition. So yeah, so that would be a very good investment. So you need to be smart and make a decision on what you want to buy and what you want to invest in. For another example is my beautiful Louis Vuitton Bria. So this bag has been discontinued. So now usually what happens with discontinued pieces is when it first discontinued, you might see people are really after it on the secondhand market. One of the really good example right now is the favorite Louis Vuitton pochette. That one got discontinued and everyone is still after it. You can still get a pretty good price on it if you're trying to resell. However, generally speaking, discontinued item will eventually go down in price. So for example, your Chanel Grand Shopping Tote, which I recently purchased one as well, when it first discontinued, I think the price was still quite high because everyone was still trying to get their hands on it. But slowly, anything that's discontinued, generally speaking, will go down in price. Now this one, I've purchased it from boutiques, I think just a few years before it got discontinued. I wasn't following these things very closely at the time. And I think I purchased for maybe $2,600 plus tax, so close to $3,000. And now you can find this piece quite frequently on the pre-loved market for about $1,500. Sometimes even a bit less. So I obviously didn't make my money back on this one, but it's a beautiful piece. I use it a lot for work, so you know I don't plan on letting it go. So because it wouldn't be worth the money unless I'm really desperate. But again, when you think about it, I'm still able to get at least about half of the amount back which for any other fashion house or any other brand, that you might not be able to do that, and you probably wouldn't be able to resell it very easily. So that's kind of my own, like, I just pick out the 3 bags from different time when I purchased it, sort of having a different outcome. So now same thing with, if you're going with a more classic line, if you buy a Never Full, if you buy a Alma, those ones are generally easy to resell, especially if you're choosing to invest in the monogram pieces. So I would say don't let the price increase stop you, because they will keep going up. In a few months, you'll be looking back and thinking $515 is pretty cheap. So they will keep going up. And like I said, if it's something that will make you happy and something you do think you'll make a lot of use out of, I say go ahead and make the purchase anyways. And because, like I said, because they're still in a state where they're so hard to get, very sought after, if you change your mind at this point, you can probably still get your money back if it's in a very good use condition for these pieces. I love this one a lot. You guys know I made quite a few videos on this one, so I definitely plan to keep it in my collection for a long time. And this new one, I think it's my actual very first Damier Azur piece, and so I think it will be a very good addition, just so I have a different kind of Louis Vuitton print in my collection. I hope this is somewhat helpful, and like I said, I've been wanting to do a video about luxury buying and selling and buying from secondhand market and all that, and things to look for. So if you're interested in that type of content, please subscribe and comment below. I have also, before you go, I have also started posting more frequently on my Instagram page, which I will also link it down below. So please do go there and follow me on Instagram. I will try to post as frequently as I can. But I'll be happy to, I'd love to hear from you guys through Instagram. You can DM me if you have any suggestions for my channel or for my Instagram post. Please let me know. I know I have some subscribers who are very seasoned on YouTube and on Instagram. So if you have any tips or suggestions for me, please feel free to let me know. I would love to hear from you, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye now.